Welcome everybody. This is Curators of Hip Hop, where we support independence, and we hope you support your independence. Today we got the legendary Stic from Dead Prez, who has a lot of things going on, longevity in this hip hop game. Not just hip hop. We're gonna get into some things today where we're talking about hip hop at a larger scale. Health and wealth. What's going on, Stic?
All is love, man. Salute to y'all, man. Salute to curators, everybody out there.
Hey, man, I like that shirt, man. Who is that?
Oh, this right here, this is Dr. Huey P. Newton of the Black Panther Party.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And I found out doing some research that Huey was a meditator. And that he used meditation during solitary confinement to kind of, face that, standing up and not breaking down mentally, or physically. So I was like, wow, one of my heroes from the political movement also is a hero, in terms of the internal work. So that's what's up.
And that's key. You got to find a lot of different things in order to, stay focused and, keep your mind sharp no matter what the situations are.
Facts. Yeah.
All right, bro. What you got for us, Jermaine?
Oh, for sure, Stic, man. So I just I've been following the workout movement since it began, and have been a big fan of everything that's come out of it, from the music itself, the merchandise along with it, the website that went up. But for those who don't know, I think it'd be interesting to talk a little bit about how you transitioned from being sort of an advocate of fitness and health, and sort of before that time, like what led to that movement for you on a personal level?
Right. Funny enough, man, it was wilding out. It was like the things, I picked up some habits in street life and, just being a teenager and getting influenced by the common things in our communities, smoking mad weed, mad blunts, drinking alcohol like it should have been water, you know what I'm saying? And just being stressed, when the crack epidemic hit in the 80s, in the late 80s, it hit my household like direct. You know what I mean? My brother, uncles, pops, you know what I mean? So I had a lot of stress. And it wasn't until I moved to New York, I woke up one morning and I had a swollen ankle. And come to find out, it was this condition called gout, right? And, it's like all those things I mentioned kind of built up into uric acid, and it collected in my joint, and it just inflamed, and it was like painful, like a gunshot, bro. And, I went to the doctor. The doctors do what they do. They look at you, and then they say, I got some drugs for you. And my lady was like, she was a vegetarian. So she was like, I don't think you should, be on the medication. Like, the body could heal itself if you give it the right tools. So I guess she always wanted me to be a little healthier. So she was like, so we're gonna go green right now. You're gonna go all vegan, all plant-based. And I did, and it healed the gout, natural, no medicines. And that woke me up, to like, wow, like I had the power to destroy my ability to walk, with just my choices, right? So I was like, KRS-One has a quote where he talks about hip hop having the power to influence young people negatively, right? And he says, but then it also has the power to influence young people positively, right? If that's the case. So I was like, if my choices gave me, this gout, then my choices and self-care and all that could take me somewhere better and totally different. And it made me curious, like, what would my life be like if I was just sober up? You know what I mean? What would it be like if I take my health 100% priority, right? And I started learning, from there I was like, I'm a see. And so I took up Kung Fu, and then that just taught me so much about personal discipline and put me on the path of training regularly and just loving fitness. And I got into boxing and yoga and meditation and qigong and all these different modalities over like a course of probably like 10 years or so. You know what I mean? And so that revolutionized how I was looking at my personal life, how I look at the social conditions, and how the power of our choices, you know, makes it, it really makes a difference, you know what I mean?
Yeah, appreciate that. And what do you think has changed between the production and the release of Workout 1 bringing us to today, Workout 2? How have you personally grown, and what do you feel like both of these projects offer to the listener?
Well, right on. So even coming out of that, coming out of just getting into more regular fitness and whatnot, you know, it naturally, I wanted to talk about it in the music. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I had gave people my frustrations and, you know, everything I'm against with the government and how the police do us. And, you know, I felt like I gave that so much that I was like, I need to balance that, because it's some young brother that's 17, 16, 22 like me, with one foot in the street, one foot in the struggle, and is not learning the certain kind of holistic tools. You know what I mean? So, and coming from somebody who's been on the front lines in a lot of ways in the movement, I felt like it was really a calling for me to represent health. And my skill set is music, is you know, MCing, is production. So I was like, that's like I owe that to the culture. And that's how, you know, the Workout 1 came about. And I just wanted to share some music you could do calisthenics to, and you could be inspired to be sober and eat more plants and work out and sweat and get that burn, you know. And, you know, we put that out, and, you know, millions of people resonated with that vibe. You know what I mean? And it took me almost 9 years, long story short, to get to Workout 2. I think the biggest difference, to answer your question, is probably my confidence in my spirituality. You know, I think I got more confident in expressing that in music. And because, you know, health and fitness has become like a way I practice spirituality. You know what I mean? I never expected that from it, but it's definitely helped me just tap in through the meditation and just sweating and having tools to stay balanced. So I think that's the biggest difference in me personally, is just growing more spiritually and being more confident in putting it on them bars and on them beats, you know?
Which one was harder for you to go cold turkey on? The smoking, drinking, or going plant-based?
Oh, the weed.
Yeah.
So the food was easy, because I was like, if I keep doing what I've been doing, you know what I mean? I got gout. You know, it could get worse. You know what I mean? That basically meant I had broke down my body's natural immune system to handle that. Usually, you know, you eat or drink things that are quote unquote toxic in small amounts, and you flush it out. You know what I mean? You have a digestive system, and it flushes out. But when you ain't drinking no water, and it's back-to-back blunts and back-to-back alcohol and all this kind of stuff, and then Chinese takeout, you know, the menu special, the burger menu, dollar menu, you know what I mean? Like, that's your norm, if you don't make a change, you know what I mean, it's gonna keep you aggravating. And a lot of people you'll see in our communities in particular, they live with gout for years.
Yep.
You know, you get gout, you just keep it. You know what I mean? So the food was easy for me. You know what I mean? I seen that. The drinking was easy for me, because as soon as it made a bad taste in my mouth. Like, oh, okay, I'm pouring my own poison. So, you know what I mean? But the herb, because it's an herb, and you know what I mean, the Rasta community was a big part of my healing in terms of learning natural herbs to heal, right? And my view on herb was like, this is not bad for you. You know what I mean? So I had to like put it in perspective. It's like I was abusing herb. And then it was the blunts and the you know, the nicotine and the tobacco addiction that come with blunt. So it took me a while. I had to wean. You know what I mean? At first it was no blunts, but I was still burning. Then it was only papers. Then I got off the papers, and it was like eating it in food. And then it was like not eating it in food. And what was the last thing? That might have been it. Once it was like eating it in food, maybe teas or, you know, here and there. And I realized it's actually medicinal if you don't abuse it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It'll motivate you to even work out and all those kinds of things. So it was a process, man. And I think my mom got sick at some time, and I had to move her in my crib, and I was at that point I was like, I just need to be 100%. You know what I mean? So like that.
Yeah. And that's funny, you know, because it's different for everybody. You know, we had the conversation, and for me, like trying to go plant-based, I say that real hesitant, because it was 3 days. and the weed and the alcohol, I went cold turkey like that. You know, 10 years, boom, and like that, it wasn't nothing. Yeah. But yo, trying to go cold turkey on some meat, being raised in the South, man, not with the TH, with the F in the South.
Yeah.
Man, that third day I was like, oh man, I was jittering, and man, I couldn't even deal. I was like, I just got to take it in smaller portions. But you know, once again, that's all in self-discipline and health, and you know, once you start getting knowledge and things like that, all of that stuff comes into play. You know, like right now, you know, we are having time to sit down and really reevaluate ourselves and you know, just get some things right. And you know, for me, my focus is, you know, as we were talking, basically getting healthy, right? You know, so listening to your album, when I go running, when I go jogging, is different songs that hit me, you know, like most definitely, if you don't mind, we get into it right now. Water, Pass Me Some Water. That is such a soulful song in so many different ways, because me being from Florida, at the end of the song where you have the, you know, I saw the visual in my head while listening to it of people getting baptized, you know, way in the water, you got that. And then, you know, you got the African drums up here in Maryland, where I'm located in the DMV, where there's a lot of people who are educated into the roots, into Yoruba, into a lot of different things of African culture. So the drums come into play a lot. So I see that and I feel that, and you were able to get all of that feeling and the importance of water, H2O, alkaline, whatever it may be, but make sure you're drinking water in the song. And it was dope. You know, like that's a conversation. When I heard it, I was like, wow. Like, tell us a little bit, like where'd that come from?
Yeah, you hit on it. It was a lot of things I wanted to express in that. And first and foremost, my son produced that. I did a little production on it, but my son produced basically that beat, that track. And so that is special to me, you know what I mean, just to get a chance to work with my son. But my wife is, you know, a nutritionist and a holistic health counselor. She's, you know, she's the drill sergeant of the healthy, right? So like watching her through the years, like she always has a bottle of water right by the bed, you know what I mean? And she's just proactive, and her habits is awesome. So that I picked it up a little, and I try to be able to, she got a bottle of water, I'll get one, you know what I mean? And it helps with energy, it helps with mood, you know, the digestion, just all these things I've noticed. My skin be clearer, you know what I mean? So, And I also, in the context of the album, I wanted a water break. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's kind of like it sits in the middle, maybe like the 7th or 8th song or something like that. And so I was just scoping it out, trying to score the experience. And I got to work with the family of one of my biggest inspirations, Bruce Lee. And they cleared the sample that you hear Bruce talking about water.
Wow.
And, you know what I mean? I've been working with them on some volunteer work with their family foundation and whatnot. So it's a whole lot of good energy, good chi, good intention that's coming together in a song like Drink Water. But my wife, she started a program through the Drink Water shirts that we sell on our site, which helped us put some underground wells in Africa. So we have in a village called Namatiti in Malawi. We've been able to put 2 so far through proceeds from those Drink Water shirts and Drink Water bottles. And so it's also, so when you're hearing that African root, that was also a piece of that element, you know what I mean? So we just, it's over here, it's easy to say, drink water, drink alkaline, do all that, but there's places around the planet of our people that can't even access basic water without disease in it, you know what I mean? Or they gotta walk 10 miles just to get a bucket, you know what I mean? So it's important for us to drink water, but it's important for everybody to have access to water too. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On the subject of your independence, we've talked to you about this at different times throughout the years, even going back to when we did our feature film. But in your mind, what has changed about, I guess you can say, almost the art of independence and how you approach your moves and you look at your business strategies and you look at all that is possible, I guess you could even say within yourself, within your family unit, all that is possible now and how you are for yourself doing the work and how you would encourage others, basically making the most out of what there is to be made. Right. Kind of like you said, do more with less, get better results.
There you go. Yeah, man. I mean, from the beginning, our mission with Dead Prez, when we moved from Florida to New York and was like, we want to get a major record deal, our intention was not to be in a major circuit for the duration of our career. Our intention was to utilize a platform that's major, to get exposure, and create kind of relationships, right? But we valued our independence because we want to say what we want to say. We want to get the lion's share of the profits of what we creating, you know what I mean? And we valued that. But when you broke and you don't know nobody and you ain't got no networks, then you have to have a strategy. So a lot of people are start independent with the hopes of getting a major deal, and then that's now I made it. Whereas we started with a major deal in hopes of getting independent and having the benefit of those resources and that exposure. So it's been working out really well, in that regard, right? But a lot has changed since we dropped. We dropped our album was on cassette and wax and then CD. You know what I mean? And so we done been here for a while, and now you can't even sell music. You know what I mean? You it's more like it's a streaming culture. And, you know what I mean? It's not the same kind of economy. And I was interested. I was talking to the late great Nipsey Hussle before he passed, and on some creative stuff. And he inspired me through a lot of his business moves as an independent. You know what I mean? And we actually was talking about his deal with Atlantic, and he was excited about how he set it up and how it was like a joint venture. You know what I mean? He's a brilliant strategist, right? So, but one of the campaigns he had used was Proud to Pay, and which allowed his core fans to support the music by, actually purchasing it instead of just leaking it or whatever. And he did a lot of groundbreaking work with helping fans understand the need to support the art, right? Just like art, Andy Warhol or Basquiat or anybody else, you know what I mean? And so I released Workout 2, inspired by his model of Proud to Pay. And I released it for the first 3 months, where it was not available to stream. You had to download the purchase. And we hit the charts. We hit #1 in our category on iTunes, on Amazon, on Google Play, and in sales, you know what I mean? And, with that strategy. So, I'm grateful to Nip. If it's a heaven for a gangster, I know he in the studio. And for that inspiration. And I would share that with any independents, is to don't let the industry tell you what the model is, but be creative and experiment with different ways to control your own industry within the industry.
And as you were, it's interesting because FitHop is very much, the way you've approached it, I would say, is original in the sense where, again, this is like you proving yourself, like this is your lane, or this is a lane that you can own. The inner workings of that, how do you get to a point, or what was the process of getting to the point where you're very confident about this, like early on in the sense of like, look, I'm gonna do hip hop about fitness. It's not corny, you know what I'm saying? But like, how did you get to a point where even for yourself, you're like, I know this is going to work, or at least this is going to connect with people? Because I'm sure, people have all kinds of ideas, but that sort of internal measuring that you had to do to get to where you are now.
Well, to be honest, like, I didn't do it with an intention that how I'm going to make people like it, or, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't my, I don't really move like that, you know what I mean? It was more like in my meditations, just asking for clarity, you know what I mean? And everything that kept coming up was FitHop. It was what do I want to talk about? What do I need to say? What is true for me? What's authentic? What am I passionate about, right? That's my criteria. And it is, I love running. I'm a long distance running coach. You know what I'm saying? But the average Dead Prez fan probably don't know that, because I didn't share those kinds of things that, in my earlier music. So it was just a calling inside to be a voice, for my lifestyle. And what makes me confident is I know it works for me. And I know that in our community, like, health ain't gonna never steer you wrong. You know what I mean? I don't even have profanity in FitHop. I don't even, you know what I mean? So you could play it for the whole family. You know what I mean? It's still hard, and it's still real and all that. But it was just a lot of listening to that inner guidance showed me, like, this is what everything I've done before is has grown me or prepared me to be able to do FitHop in a way that's authentic, is not corny, and it's for the right reasons. Because there are a lot of people jumping on the trends of health and wellness, ready to sell us a special healthy pill, and just trying to sell stuff on the trend of health, as opposed to just live it and share it, you know what I mean, from where you're coming from. So I guess that's where the confidence comes from. It's working, baby. We #1 in the country too. How about that? No cursing. You know what I mean? We ain't selling no alcohol. You know what I mean? We talking about push-ups and meditating. How about that?
Right. Right. And it seems like as this has grown, you're not alone, basically. You've got some allies and soldiers on your side. Who are some of these characters that we have sort of been revealed to on the project?
Oh man. Well, my buddy for a long time, Coach Nim. Coach NYM. He's been my homie since People Army days, Dead Prez, and he would be the guy in the studio mixes, 3 in the morning. Me and him, the only ones up. We trying to do 1,000 push-ups. Throwing dice, betting push-ups, and all that. It was just my homie, right? And he from the Bronx, from the streets, gang banging and whatnot, but he always would work out, and we had that kind of stuff in common. So he hit me up after work, it wasn't after, it was before workout. After workout one. He hit me up and was like, "Yo, man, I'm in Miami now. I'm training people. He's a really dope trainer. He's doing jiu-jitsu and all that. He's like, yo, I want to do one of them FitHop albums, right?" And so I was like, bet. So we like a boxing gym, like FitHop Academy. You know what I mean? It was like, all right, we're gonna break down the lyrics, and the approaches to that, because we don't want to be condescending. We don't want to be, telling people you need to do this, you don't do that. It's a certain perspective we want to come from. So we drilled that. He taught himself the production equipment. For the first time, he produced his whole album, Healthy Gangster, and that was the first time he made beats. You know what I mean? So we went through that whole process. And like an academy, like a boxer, you gotta learn the jab, you gotta learn the hook, you gotta learn the cross footwork. You know what I mean? Then you gotta get in there, then boom, boom. So that's how we look at RBG Fit Records. We like a FitHop boxing camp or something. And so he's definitely more than, he's not, I don't look at it like he's my artist. You know what I mean? Like, I executive produce his album, but he's his own man. I look up to him. He teaches me. He inspires me. And he's definitely, I'm proud to say he's our first, besides myself, recording artist on, RBG Fit Records, the FitHop lane that we're trying to build. But, we got Styles P is another hip-hop icon that's about that plant-based life. From the streets, and an entrepreneur with juice bars and, supplements. And so we have a lot in common and a mutual respect. So he jumped on Workout 2 with us. And, we got a lot of allies, man. I'm looking to just connect the dots more, and we want to see other young folks get inspired enough to want to make some FitHop music as well. So there might be some rappers out there that they rap, but they also box, or they rap, but they also break dance, or they also, do martial arts, or they runners or sprinters or whatever, and to help them see opportunities. You know what I mean? It's not just the music, but it's also the branding and the business and wellness industry around it, as opposed to having to go to the alcohol industry to get branding support and things like that. So we just trying to open that up.
And with Styles P and that song Me Time, like being from where I'm from and listening to the lyrics of like the whole album, but listening to that particular song, it speaks to a lot of different people on a lot of different levels, right? Because it comes from a perspective of somebody being locked up, being behind bars, but still being focused mentally and building themselves. Can you go into that a little bit? Because when I heard that, like, I can really see that being played everywhere, like everywhere, because of the mentality that it puts. It's just a hard song too.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. That was one of the first songs I created for Workout 2, and it was. I was reflecting back on some of my times locked up, and deciding I want to move forward in a more progressive way. I don't want to just be stuck in that trap, in that cycle. But and looking at it, in the story, Gucci Mane's story is Me Time. How he transformed himself during time. And many other people who had had that epiphany, right? So it was, and Styles, perfect example of somebody that was doing time and came out and you know, progressed. So yeah, it was about just channeling that story as it connects to health and wellness and fitness. But it was interesting. I dropped the album February 28th, right, which was basically a week and a half before quarantine lockdown came. And I had no idea, like nobody else, we didn't know that was coming. And then the Me Time song started catching on, and people start training in the crib and posting it like quarantine lockdown. And how am I gonna make this me time? You know what I mean? As opposed to I'm just suffering, or what I'm missing out on, or what I'm losing, or whatever. How can I take advantage of it? And it's bigger than being in prison, being in jail. Is whatever situation that we feel has us stagnated. You know what I mean? How can we shift the perspective to make it me time and do the most you can? You know, like in the song I said, jail ain't nothing nice, but I got the right perspective. Setback set up the kickback for when I exit. You know what I mean? It's just about having a certain perspective no matter what's going on. You know, and you know, to me that's empowering. So I'm glad people resonate with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I once we talk about that, you know, you got to understand it's a certain level of work you got to put into, because we're talking about health. You know, we talking about eating right, drinking water, and all of that. But all of this stuff, you know, calls for some consistency. You know, and with that said, you know, you got to put in work. Man, put in work. I don't care what profession, what thing you sort of do. When you hear put in work, it makes you want to go harder.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, man, that one right there, like.
That's one of my favorites, man. Wow.
Because, you know, like me and Jermaine, we in this field of, you know, filmmaking, editing, and things like that, and it requires a lot of time, right? But we humans as well, so we got families, and that requires a lot of time and a lot of understanding, especially in times like now, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's a lot of other people that do it, and you know, I always heard that hard work beat talent if talent don't work, you know. So when you made put in work for this Workout 2 album, I was like, man, I sent that to we also. You know, we teach young people as well, so we got a few employees. I sent it to another one of my homeboys that be working on this stuff, man. That's one of their favorite songs, because it says everything that you do when you pushing up, because you need that somebody to be like, man, one more, two more. Man, let's tell me about that. Why is that one of your favorites?
Like you guys, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a father. You know, I'm a husband. You know, I'm somebody who I care about my community. You know what I mean? I want to make an impact. You know, I'm an artist. I'm also a producer. You know what I mean? I'm the creative director of my brand. You know, I got a million hats. You know what I mean? So I need work songs. I need, in the field, in the plantation, you know, we might have had to row 50,000 rows, a whole 50,000 rows, but we would sing these different songs, you know, work songs that help us push through. So it's that anthem. Like, I'll get up, put my headphones on. Some days I don't feel like putting in the miles out there. You know what I mean? I want to get a root beer and get on my phone or something. You know what I mean? But I put that on, and it reminds me, right, that I have that quality, and I have that characteristic to get it done. And sometimes you have to suspend your thoughts. Thoughts is overrated at times. You definitely have to think, right? But I think sometimes thinking is overrated, right? Because you'll get to thinking how you feel about it. I can do this, you know, you're thinking too much. Just put one foot in front of the other, and get it done, right? Think about it when you get back. You know what I'm saying? And so I try to train. That's not we don't always feel motivated like that. And I always say, so we have to learn how to enjoy the discipline, right? If you can learn how to value the discipline part, don't worry about the result. Don't worry about how you feel. Just see yourself putting in the work, taking the steps. You know what I mean? Because that someday that we all have, that we gonna do whatever it is that's optimal. You know, everybody has their own version of that mountain. One day I'm gonna climb that mountain. It could be today. It could be today. It don't have to be then. It could be today. So that's a song that reminds me, get up, put in the work. My morning routine is 4 parts: is meditate, activate, energize, and enterprise. So I have to do that before I invest in anything else. You know, I'm gonna sweep my mind. I'm gonna move, circulate the oxygen and the blood in my body through some kind of training. I'm gonna eat some nutritious foods and hydrate, right? And then I'm gonna pick what is my enterprise, what is my to-dos, my top 3 things that I need to get done today on my business, right? Then once I done did that, then I could float around a little bit. I could be a little lazy here and there and whatever, because I done invested in that first. So putting the work is a mindset, and it's a way of life. Yeah.
And we talking about, you know, because you mentioned this earlier, right? We all fathers, and you were saying that you made your son did the beat for Water. Talk a little bit.
Trust the Universe too. I forgot to mention.
I was coming to that.
Okay. All right.
Talk a little bit about how that works, right? Because him being a producer, is that something that you talked to him about doing, or is that something he just fell into on his own? And then for you being a father and an entrepreneur and an artist, like for other fathers, entrepreneurs, and artists out there, like what do you suggest when it comes to your child, your seed, when it comes to this? How does that relationship happen?
Right on. Well, I didn't want from jump. I was like, I'm not gonna try to put nothing, force nothing on him. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be the dad that's like, you're gonna do, I'm a doctor, you're a doctor. I'm a mechanic, you're a mechanic. Like, I'm like, who are you? What do you want? What's your interest? And he used to come, I used to bring him to the studio with me all the time. And, you know, from when he was in the car seat age, you know, all the way up. So he's been around the studio and all kind of great artists and producers and all that his whole life. But he didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? He was into basketball and, you know, drawing and things like that. And his mom was like, he needs to play some piano or something. And so him and his mom, they rebelled. She made him take piano lessons for like 7 years. And every time he had to practice, he was like, I don't like this. I don't want to do it, right? And when he finished the commitment, we let him chill. And a couple of years later, he was like, yo, Bob, I was thinking I might want to make some beats. Can you show me, you know, how to put the software or whatever? And the funny thing is, as I started showing him what I do and how I do it, he was like, you old school as hell, you know?
Right.
You know, he's like, oh, let me show you this, Fruity Loops and this. And he started showing me, you know, easier ways to do stuff. And, you know what I mean? He just had a talent for it and grew into it. He also is an engineer. So he studied a lot about how to create the atmospheres and the ambiance and the stuff he was hearing in the young artists, the trap music and the things on the radio. He wanted to figure out, how do you engineer that to do that? What is that called? What's that plug in? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he had that his own like interest. And I can't take no credit, you know, for his genius and his initiative. You know, we made the soil, you know what I mean? But he grew that into itself. So it was beautiful. And what I would say, I guess, to parents, I believe you let your children find their own calling and their own way, and then you support that. You know what I mean? But like they say that, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. We just be our best example we can, and we see what happens.
Yeah. He taught himself how to play the guitar on the app, right?
Oh, yep. Indeed, he did. Yeah, and like got nice. You know what I mean? He's a brilliant guy, man. Like I know it's my son, but he is truly a brilliant guy. He taught himself stocks, investing in stock market and options and forex, and he has a business now with another young partner of his where they teach other young people how to understand forex and options trading and things like that. So he a hustler, all around entrepreneur too, man. So you know what I mean. It couldn't be a better joy though to be able to put this album out. Workout 2 meant a lot to me as for my own career, but to have him makes 2 of the best songs on there. You know what I mean? His first time out, I'm grateful.
But you can do that when you the producer, you the artist, and you make all the decisions, right?
Facts, mob style.
Yeah, bro, my bad.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. I was gonna ask, looking at this point where you're sort of seeing the fruits of the labor, the results, the great positive feedback from workout 2, workout 1, all these years in the making. What are some of the things you've learned and are now stepping into because of what you've just created? So here's the creation, it's out there, it's building this reputation. Are you starting to forge a whole new fanship you've never seen before, different levels of sponsorship you've never thought about before because of this creation? And sort of what does that tell you about your future?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Like from the beginning, Dead Prez first album, Let's Get Free, we gotta be healthy. You know what I mean? That's a core part of our message. I was just coming into my own, health journey, and throughout my career, that's been important to me to try to say something as it relates to that. But with FitHop in its own lane as its own genre, its own industry, I'm in the Beat Street era of FitHop right now. You know what I mean? Like we just being it. When hip hop first was being developed, it wasn't about anything more than practicing the culture. You know what I mean? And being skilled and dope in living the lifestyle. So for me, that's important and primary, that I use the music to stay focused myself, and my partners like COHH and others that's gonna be coming down the pipe. My dude Iron Lion out of Trinidad, he's next. Just making sure we living it and we giving it in a way that's dope. But I have been able to attract partnerships and collaborations that might seem off the radar. If you're looking on outside in, you know what I mean. I've been able to work with a lot of mega brands, from Kellogg's, Morningstar Farms, Complex Mag, Allbirds, Sustainable Shoes, Lululemon. You know what I mean? Like a lot of partnerships and creative things are coming out of this lane, because wellness is the industry of the future. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, this is a $1 trillion business industry of wellness, and our community's creative culture of hip hop is, $1 billion industry. You know what I mean? And when you combine hip hop and wellness, like you're dealing with some, not just the resources to be healthier, which is the wellness side, but you're dealing with the critical missing ingredient is that people have to stay inspired to actualize the wellness tools. I can tell you to drink water, but if you ain't motivated and inspired to do it, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So inspiration to me is missing ingredient. And I think nobody does that better than hip hop.
Right. Now, you mentioned a lot of big brands. I remember seeing you at Broccoli City with Toyota, right? And these things don't just happen because there's a lot of independent artists out here. How do you make those brands understand that they need to partner with you and your brand?
Man, I don't.
Okay.
They figure it out.
Okay.
I do what I study branding, and I study marketing, and I study business. I have certain times in the day that I invest in it. I study, all of the different people who are putting out research information in marketing and branding, not just in hip hop, but just across the board. How to figure out your message. What's your core? What do you stand for? What do you deliver? What are you about? Authentically, not like making up nothing, but just what do you have that's of value, right? And try to coin that in a way that's clear enough. That's the ongoing journey. And then brands who understand who they are, right? Can register that easily. They can recognize it a little more easier the more you're clear and the more you're consistent and the more you're innovative and doing different things. And then brands reach out. Like all the brands that we mentioned, I didn't reach out to none of them. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to call nobody and say, man, you need to check me out, man. I'm doing things. I don't do that. You know what I mean? I do what I do best. And, I've been blessed or fortunate enough that fans of some of my work happen to be executives at these different places. You know what I mean? Or happen to be connected and have access to say, yeah, to this and whoop-de-whoop. You know what I mean? So, somebody else may have, there's all kind of social media influencers and whatever, 10-step plans and get a bunch of followers, like all that. I don't do none of that. I just share my authentic lifestyle and with my skill set and then be open to partnerships. But I don't just partner just because it's a big brand. It has to sit right with my values. And, if I'm gonna work with, a beverage company, it's not gonna be alcohol. Soda, you know what I'm saying? If it's some shoes, and they doing things for the community, or they donating, they taking care of the earth, or they donating to kids in Africa, or, that's the kind of stuff I'm into, like not just capitalism, but activism, through business too. You know what I'm saying?
And when you say that, it just takes me back to what you were saying earlier about supporting your independence, and while creating FitHop, you have really solidified yourself in that realm. Now, we said FitHop several times, but we never really got into details on what that means. So can you tell us and the viewers, like, what is FitHop?
The simplest way I can say it is FitHop is my personal expression of hip hop and healthy living. You know what I mean? And if somebody else was to do FitHop, it would be their personal expression, right? Through hip hop, right? Of healthy living, fitness, wellness, holistic in some form. You know what I mean? That's the simplest way I can say it. It's using hip hop, the attitude, the sound, the culture in a healthy way,
And hip hop is getting a lot of notoriety. It's the biggest consumed music genre. 2020 is the first year that breakdancing will be in the Olympics, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I really want to get into this partnership with Lululemon, because you all created a video with the young lady that just found out she's gonna be in the Olympics this year for boxing. How did that come about?
Yeah, man. So how to start? So my homie, his daughter a friend of mine, really good friend of mine, and one of my running coaching clients. We, training him, and I was bumping the workout, and things of that nature. And his daughter was 9, 10 years old, and want to go running with her dad, right, and Uncle Stic. You know what I mean? And one day, her mom said, she wanted to box because her family, she has a history of boxers in her family. And her dad is kind of old school. So he's like, my daughter ain't box. Like, are you kidding? You know what I mean? So long story short, the film that we partnered with Lululemon to produce is a short, brief 6-minute doc on that journey. And her ambitions, her aspirations to be a champion boxer as this young Black female that is so sweet and tiny and kind, you know what I mean? And the beast mode that came out of her when she decided to put in that work, and her family supported her. And I happen to be the soundtrack, to her journey. So it's an inspiring piece. Lululemon was really generous and helped to bring it to life. I directed it with a dope sister named Maya Table, and we put the team together in Atlanta and got to it. So that's going to be out and about. People can check it out on my Instagram and the link in my bio. But it's called Experience FitHop, and yeah.
Yeah, man, don't just go over that. I slightly co-directed it. So you were director too. When you listen one more time, when you independent and you take care of that and you focus and harness that, you can do all things, right, whatever you put your mind to. So you directing too, huh, bro?
Yeah, man. Working with my buddy and just seeing their dedication as a family. Like they got 7 kids, right? She started boxing and had phenomenal talent right off the bat. But then when you box, all right, so now you got to go to Arizona. You got to go to, Oakland. You got to go to where it's at and win your, things. And then you got to go here and qualify for this. That costs money, man.
Yeah.
And I seen a family of 7, 8 kids sacrificing and just really committing. And I said, if there's anything that embodies what RBG Fit Club is about, it's a family getting behind their daughter to be a fighter and be healthy and to make your dreams come true, through a healthy lifestyle. And I was like, if I ever get an opportunity, I want to be a good uncle and help tell your story and help, share that and give a push and let people see all the work that you've done. You know what I mean? So, as I have been working with Lululemon on some other things as a running coach, I've done like some workshops with them, and some 5Ks or whatever, and building my relationship with my buddy at Lululemon. And I was like, let me see. I got an idea. Let me see. And as soon as I shared the idea, he was like, let's make it happen. And so, I called my buddy. I was like, yo, bro, and so everything just came together. And then Maya, let me shout out my brother, Rob Hardy, who is a director from the crib, from FAMU. We met down there long years ago. He's done mad work with Rainforest Films and all that. So I hit him up, and I was like, I need to put a team together. You know what I mean? And so he linked me with Maya, and then we was able to pull a professional team to get the idea executed. So, I love being in that space more than I love being on stage or on camera, interviews and all that. I just like creating more than anything. So it's a blessing.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to next?
Well, what am I looking forward to next, man? We in a situation in the world where who knows what's next, right? Like I'm grateful for the now. You know, my main thing is to stay inspired, and that's the mantra that I try to share with everything that I do. You know, I have a method that works, that's been working for me in terms of my personal life. You know, is I call it the 3 E's. You know, so entertainment is one way I stay inspired. You know, and that's artists and films and, you know what I mean, creative things that are out here that all I gotta do is watch it or listen to it, and I'm pumped up and I'm amped up. So I try to collect those kinds of things, and when I need it, tap into it. You know, the second E is examples. You know what I mean? So my personal examples that inspire me: Bruce Lee, Ali, different other biographies of people. I try to, you know, learn. 50 Cent just put a book out called Hustle Smarter, Hustle Harder. I just finished reading that. It was excellent. So things like that, people's biographies, you know, help me stay inspired. And last E is experiences. Giving myself goals, like certain races I might want to participate in that'll hold me accountable. Or, you know, different kinds of experiences, trying new things, mixing it up, doing stuff I ain't been doing. You know, that's a part of staying inspired. So I think if I was in, you know, in school, I think I never been to college, but in college you have to do a dissertation at a certain point, right? Where you say, well, after all this stuff I've been studying, I got me a theory, and then you have to put your theory together on, you know, your what you've realized or whatever. And I think what I'm in the process of doing is my dissertation is about inspiration. You know what I mean? Like what is that? You know, where does it come from? Can you generate it at will? You know what I mean? Or is it just something like lightning got to strike and you got to be lucky to catch inspiration? You know what I mean? And you know, I'm on that journey to try to master myself and master understanding of inspiration, because I think that's the missing ingredient in everything that we want to get done, personally and community-wise, is that the conditions make us lose our inspiration. The conditions demoralize us. You know, our perspectives are pessimistic, you know what I mean, by design, you know what I mean? And so how can we develop a proactive, practical optimism, you know what I mean, in our world? That's where I'm going, is trying to solve that and then share it free. So we own it.
I just want to make sure that people understand they need to go and listen to that Workout 2 project. If anytime you feel like you need motivation to do anything, you know, there's a song on there for you. There's one on there talking about meditation. You don't want to move, sit down.
Right.
Turn on your TV, turn on your phone to the water, you know, and meditate. But listen to the song for sure. Listen to the album for sure, because it's something on there for everybody. You know, it's a difficult time for a lot of people. It's a time to reflect, you know, but the album, man, it's like it's healing in 2 forms, mental and physical, because you're gonna work out even if you don't feel like it. Don't put the album on if you don't feel like even doing the dip. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. But if you want to do something, you want to listen to something, make sure you listen. And it's something you can listen to for your families, because we did our family workout yesterday. We had it planned, you know. All my kids need is a little beat. Me and my wife was in there just listening to it and doing it. So, you know, it's fun, man. Is there anything else, Stic, though? You know, because I want to make sure everybody can understand, you know, what you got going on, you know, because we really salute you and support your independence, you know, like, this stuff that you're doing, you've always been doing. So when you said it, and you be like, yeah, I caught my man Rob Hardy, and people don't know Rob Hardy did. He was with Rainforest Film. Him and Will Packer was business partners. You know, they still friends. Rob Hardy does TV shows now for CBS and places like that. They did Stump the Yard, you know, Stump the Yard 2, Twa, you know, just independent. These are other independent hustlers, you know, that were able to do their own thing. And so when you throw out things like that, we want people to understand. We ain't just talking about Ralph around the corner, down the block at the store, you know, your little yo. Nah. Nah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even with the Lululemon thing too, like you going there and saying, hey, I have this idea, because you know you are official ambassador for Lululemon. You know, now your own brand, you have an opportunity to go and express ideas, and they giving you the thumbs up. And you're an independent artist. This is no label back end or putting pressure on them or anything. You know, so, you know, that's what we want to discuss, and we want to make sure that you know, drop every jewel that you possibly can and everything that you wanted to get out today. And yeah.
I'm grateful, man. You guys are doing great work with your platform and what you've been able to do with the culture and education and supporting artists, you know, from the ground up. And just your intention is pure. Like, y'all remind me of the roots of this. Like, it's a lot of names and folks with microphones and, you know, out here speaking for the culture, but you don't always feel like they have the culture's best intention in mind. It's just, you know, it's popular, and we'll clickbait this and be reposting beefs and, you know, that kind of thing, and they call that hip hop. But I think you guys actually invest in the youth, you know what I mean? And there's an integrity with what y'all do, man. So, you know, it's we mirror each other in that way, you know what I mean? We have to have our own network of people with certain values, you know what I mean? Like, you know, a positive mob, you know what I mean? A positive mafia, man, where we have certain values, and we can do business and with respect and with integrity because of that, man, you know. RBG Fit Club, our future for that is, my wife is a brilliant nutritional educator, and she's got a lot of video work that we're doing for cooking and just home, holistic home life and gardening and different things like that. So I'm excited to support her and put my creative, you know, hat on with her to help bring it forth. But our 5 principles is the bottom line. It's knowledge, nutrition, exercise, rest, and consistency. We're gonna keep banging that. That's the new G code. Healthy is the new gangster. And look out for Coach Nim new album on the way.
All right. There it is.
All right, man.
Appreciate you, Stic.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you guys, man. Love y'all.